Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are assembled here for memorial of His Grace Haridas Prabhu, who left his body 3 days before. I welcome all the devotees, especially senior guest devotees here, His Grace Deenbandhu Prabhu, and of course we have His Grace Vijeta Prabhu and Her Grace Arya Mataji with us already. Today we also have His Grace Radhabhav Gaur Prabhu, and welcome all the senior devotees of the temple, His Grace Brajai Prabhu, His Grace Sitaram Prabhu, Dhanvantri Prabhu, and all of you. Just now, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj has arrived. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki welcome Maharaj. So His Grace Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So devotees are requested to please take your seats. Once again we welcome all the devotees. We are assembled here to remember His Grace Haridas Prabhu, who was around us here all these years, and one of my regular interaction with him was when we had Vyas Pujas and memorial functions. I would invite him and I'd update him the schedule in the morning that today such and such event is there, and often he will tell me that I will not speak, I will just come and offer flower, and then he will come in between the program, and he told me I cannot wait till Pushpanjali, so I would just give him a flower, he will come, offer and go, and I am a bit sad that today I have to offer flowers to him. At the same time, his association here with all of us, of course in his last days he was more confined to his room. He was very affectionate to all of us. So today we have an opportunity to express our feelings and remembrance. We have so many senior devotees who are associates, who did association with Haridas Prabhu. We'll hear from them. And also many of you would like to speak, so you please give your name to His Grace Vishnu Tattva Prabhu, so we can schedule yourself. I will start with reading the introduction given by His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj in his book, I Will Build You a Temple, about Haridas Prabhu. So this is from His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj's book. One day, a couple of weeks later, a new man came to the temple wanting to join. When surprised that he had just shown up out of nowhere, I asked about his background. He said that his name was Shekhar Kumar Ghosh. He was Bengali. He had been in prison for pickpocketing and stealing. And while there, he had seen a copy of Back to Godhead. He had been attracted by a photograph of Srila Prabhupada, especially Prabhupada's wristwatch, and had decided that he wanted to work for him, if not, as he later told me, steal his watch. So as soon as he had been released, he had come to Hare Krishna land. He wanted to meet Srila Prabhupada and become a devotee. I explained to the man that Prabhupada was not in Bombay and that he would have to wait until he returned. As became policy for new people who walked in off the street, he was the first. I asked him to sleep outside, which he did. One night behind the kitchen, one night in the electrician's area, one night at the beach, and the last night on the floor of the temple hall. The man seemed sincere. And when I had seen him attending all the temple programs for those 4 days, I asked whether he would shave up. Yes, he replied at once. Today is a today is a very auspicious day. I told him. Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. It is good day to shave your head. I gave him a rupee and he went to the barber. I also gave him japamala and taught him how to chant on beads. And I gave him the spiritual nickname Haridas. Haridas was still anxious to meet Prabhupada, though, and since Prabhupada wasn't scheduled to return to Bombay until late December, I gave Haridas permission to see him for 3 days in Hyderabad in mid-November. So Haridas went to Hyderabad and met Prabhupada and explained his situation, his history and present status in Juhu. He told Prabhupada that I had given him permission to be with him for 3 days, but that he wanted to stay longer. No, Prabhupada replied. You have given your word to Giriraj, so you must return as promised. Later, Haridas told me, I came to steal Prabhupada's watch, but instead he stole my heart. This guys Haridas Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So with this introduction, we will start the glorification program. I'll invite one by one devotees who will come and share. We have His Grace Devkiran Prabhu also on the list of today's speakers. He is right now in PM for him and is waiting only for this opportunity to glorify Haridas Prabhu. So I will invite him first so that he can take rest. His Grace Devkiran Prabhu.
Oh, Glashwar Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Can I be heard?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Just give us few seconds. We'll put you on the screen.
Prior to me, if you call Shastivara Prabhu, I am in Little Rock, which is 11 o'clock night. He in Baltimore, which is 12 o'clock night. So Shastivara Prabhu is also there. He is an old Juhu devotee. So maybe you can ask him first to speak and then I will go after him.
Oh, is he on Zoom? I am not having his number and I'm not sure he's aware of this program.
He is there on the Zoom. Shastivara, you can see his name is there.
Yeah, Shastivar Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Shastivar Prabhu, are you able to hear us?
Hare Krishna, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Would you mind opening up your video?
Midnight, anyway.
Yeah, I understand. So, Shastivar Prabhu, we are all temple devotees assembled here. And thank you for joining. And we would like to hear from you.
Jai. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Pancha Kopatrubhascha, Kripasinna Vaivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo. And I'd like to begin by thanking all of the devotees. I see my senior devotees, God brothers there, Holiness, Radhanath Maharaj, and Prabhuji there from Vrindavan. Thank you very much for your association. And I'd first like to thank all of the devotees in the Bharat Yatra for all of the wonderful service to Lord Chaitanya's movement. I'm so proud of all of the accomplishments, and I'm sure that Srila Prabhupada is showering his mercy on all the devotees for all of the wonderful service they're doing for Lord Chaitanya's movement. I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area, so it was quite late, so I'll just be very short and brief. I was there in Juhu in the early days, the late 70s. Introducing the wonderful Hare Krishna movement to the residents of Bharat, especially there in Bombay. The movement was still quite young then. And I have very fond memories of my wonderful godbrother Haridas, who was so instrumental in bringing so many devotees of all classes to the Juhu temple. Didn't matter what their status was. One thing I remember very wonderful about Haridas is when I would come through the entrance of the guest house there, without fail, I would always see him sitting there talking to somebody and introducing them to Krishna consciousness. All types of people. Haridas was a very, very personal, wonderful devotee, and he got along with everyone, and he was so inspiring to so many classes of devotees. So I would like to pray that Lord Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Bhaga, they have embraced him, and he is allowed to continue the wonderful service that he has done for Lord Chaitanya's movement, and especially I'm sure SriSriRadhaRasbihari is so happy and smiling with him and engaging them in their eternal loving pastimes. All glories to my wonderful friend and godbrother Haridas. Hari Hari Bo, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Shastri Prabhu. Now I request His Great Devkinand Prabhu to please speak.
ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्जनमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुमेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। His Grace Haridas Prabhu ki jai. So my association, I offer my respectful obeisances to Radharani Swami, Dinabandhu Prabhu, Vijeta Prabhu, and all the Vaishnava assembled there. My association with Haridas Prabhu goes back in 70s when I came to Juhu. He was very much there. He was our membership director in late 70s. And every day he used to push devotee to go out. Later on, God Sundar Prabhu became the membership director. And God Sundar Prabhu was very successful member. But Haridas Prabhu was more like cultivating people, especially the film industry people. Several members. He had his assistant Ramai Prabhu. They used to go together. And later on, Kirtavarma Prabhu became his Kirtavarma or Kirtakarma became his assistant. I remember the office was in room number 105 those days, Life Membership office. And God Sundar Prabhu wanted to put AC. And Haridas Prabhu was very angry. He said, why do you want to put AC? We are working hard to bring money so you can enjoy with the AC. So he would stand anything that will not please Srila Prabhupada. He was in and out Prabhupada man. So later on, I'll just briefly touch on some of the point that when I was going to get married, that time Haridas Prabhu preached me in Parikrama Marg. I remember near that, people tree in the corner, he was sitting. he held me and he started talking to me. And he was preaching so much against this marriage, that why I want to get married. I am alone, I am brahmachari, I'm doing very good. Why you want to get married to carry some burden on your back? Life is like climbing on the mountain. And if you climb alone. Why you want to climb? But anyway, of course, a lot of preaching, but nothing went in my head. So after my marriage, he told me one day that my wife's name was Suchandra. He said, Suchandra is my sister. Thus, you got to take care of her nicely. Otherwise, I will beat you. I'll beat you. Haridas Prabhu was really bully. I mean, he can punch anybody. And those days, as I have told many times in classes, that was our way to deal. Later on, one shackle through vesture. So that's how we are dealing. And he was okay, doing preaching till 90. And in 90, he left ISKCON because he wanted to become successful in making movie. He tried Haridas Thakur, and there are not much success with that. And there are a lot of money that he had borrowed from the market, which he had to pay. And temple had no money. So he opted out to work in industry. So from 90 till 95 or 96, he was out. But even he was out, he has rented an apartment next to Chandan Theatre, left side of Chandan. And sometime we used to go, myself and Chota Haridas, we used to go. And he used to feed us nice prasadam. And then he would show some movie that this is I am working on. Look at this movie, look at this movie. So in this way, he was carrying on. One day, he told me that I am so tired. Rasraj Prabhu, I think, was the president at that time, or maybe after he left, that I am so tired of this. I want to come back. I want to come back. So I said, please, you are most welcome. But then you have to put dhoti. So because he was, sometime he used to come, but he used to come in pants, shirt. And you have to come, but you have to put dhoti. He said, look, I have problem in leg. If I put dhoti, then I get a scratch. But he was sincere. He came, he shaved, and put saffron cloth, and he started putting dhoti for a long time. So in this way, many good things Haridas Prabhu did. As soon as he came, he started this, this shooting, the ITV, this thing. And one of the things he told me, I think Brajari Prabhu may remember also. Earlier, all this altar, 3 altar, they are hollow. There are no that false ceiling was not there. It was just hollow. And he said, if you all can make a beautiful feeling of this hollow or false ceiling, then you have no dearth of money. Please do it. So those days, I have a donor, Dayara Moria, Jaya Art, who made that conference hall. And then all the beauty you see in the temple hall on the roof, all false ceiling. He did that also, free of charge, of course. But that inspiration came from His Grace Haridas Prabhu, inspired. And how can I forget that he's preaching a spirit always. He always wanted to preach. Earlier he made life member. And as Shastivara Prabhu was saying, Lavi was his office. He used to sit in Lavi, like Dhanvantari Prabhu now he sits outside Life Mercy office. That was actually way. Life Mercy preacher, hardly we went to office. Morning time, they go after prasadam, to take prasadam and everything, whole day out. And evening time, everybody was in field. So there was a competition. Dhanvantari Prabhu can testify. There was competition. Anybody who comes with a big car So either Dhanvantari Prabhu will jump or Haridas Prabhu, one of them, that yes, big man has come. And there always to be argument. But Haridas Prabhu mostly spent his time in guest house lobby, meeting people, preaching people. So, he did preaching that way. Then he went in movie line. He always thought do something big. So the movie thing did not work out. Then he started ITV. And I was so grateful to him that Atma serial started. First it was on Sony TV. I was from the first one. It was Sony Star Plus, then Sony, then came Color TV, and then of course even now it is going on Tata Sky and whatnot. For 20 plus years, this thing was going on. Whole Bhagavad-gita we did. We did Bhagavatam up to 5th canto, and then somehow or other, the whole project did not take off. And then he had problem with the money also. Then later on, he became, after time signing with Tata Sky, he became self-sufficient. And we saw him till his death. He was there for spreading Srila Prabhupada movement via this electronic media of TV and from Tata Sky and all the festival. He came to shoot all this thing and a big Jambu or whatever for camera, Janmashtami and everywhere. Every time we have argument with him why he brings, but Haridas Prabhu is Haridas. So they are some of the transcendental quality. Even when we had those days the BI library today, that was our conference hall, and Haridas Prabhu used to give class. And 75% of class was just using bad name to the Kirby, that we cannot even use, rascal, whatnot, and all this thing. And so was ISKCON devotee also. But he was trying to establish Prabhupada, that how Prabhupada was a line guru, and he wanted to make, the philosophy known to everybody in a strong way, So he said, if I give some gali, then people put attention to hear. Once I asked him why you do this thing. So he said, if I dig some gali, then people hear me attentively. They take me seriously. And he was loved by everybody, and he loved every word. Although he was angry many a time, and as I told the physical right those days, and later on I made him temple and between. But later on he also apologized that no, I should have not done that thing. And that time he was called in council, temple. From that on he became very mild. So, he had both sides, but towards the end, he always wanted to give Prabhupada to one and all, to everyone. Last but the least, before I left for USA, Vijeta Prabhu, if he remembers, he came to my office and he told me, Devkinanda Prabhu, somebody had to attend Haridas Prabhu. I just went to meet him and I saw he lying on the bed, a long beard and hair. Maybe he likes that hair and beard, but somebody had to really take care. And then I called a meeting, Brajari Prabhu, Mukund Madhava Prabhu, we all sat down and we discussed what to do. So Brajari Prabhu said, we have some nurse or somebody to take care. Nevertheless, we will have him go to hospital. And so Gokuleshwar Prabhu will arrange him to go to hospital. That was the last thing before I left for America. And when I came to America, after 2 days, I heard the auspicious disappearance of Haridas Prabhu, to join Srila Prabhupada. And Mukund Madhava Prabhu, I was talking to him and he said, his servant came running and, he was talking evening time. And then his servant came running and told me that, he's not responding or something. And when he went and he called Raj Bhoga Prabhu and others, and they said he passed away. So he was talking to his servant and others just few hours before, and he passed away recently. So Prabhupada was really very kind. Prabhupada was really very kind to him, and Prabhupada wanted him to join him in his service to preach Krishna consciousness. So Haridas Prabhu was very much loved by one and all, and he loved everybody, although with in that nature, but he loved everybody. And while I'm talking, I'm remembering so many other things also, like Haridas Thakur movie shooting in Karjat Forum, how things were going on. But anyway, seeing the time, and here it's too late at night, so I'll stop here. But I can only say that Haridas Prabhu is an exemplary devotee for us to see, to be dedicated to serve Srila Prabhupada, no one else. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, His Grace Devkinandan Prabhu, for joining us even at late night. Haridas Prabhu's strong and mild nature, which Devkinandan Prabhu shared, I'm remembering my first sauce, we used to call sauce that day, chastisement from Haridas Prabhu was very bewildering. I was in temple hall many years before when I joined, chanting in Japa time, and he came around 7 a.m. and he sat at the platform near Gaurnitai altar. So I got up from my Japa and paid him obeisances. And he chastised me. He said, "Why are you offering me obeisances?" And he wanted an answer right away why I'm offering obeisances to him. So that was very bewildering to me. I shared it with one senior devotee. He said, "Okay, you keep distance." And after a few years, there was one boy who did marathon service with us. So then we had Rath Yatra. So I gave him a book bag right in the Sankirtan office. I said, "Go you with the Rath and you distribute books." And the first person he went to give book is Haridas Prabhu. Sorry. Just at the gate, he saw Haridas Prabhu. He showed him a book. He said, "Prabhu, please take his book." And when he shared this story with me, I thought he must have chastised very heavily. But Haridas Prabhu was very mild with him. Haridas Prabhu said, "Have you read this book?" The boy said, "No." He said, "Then why are you distributing it?" So he became very mild afterwards. We are very fortunate. We have also among us His Grace Vijayata Prabhu and Her Grace Arya Mataji, who were with Haridas Prabhu and other devotees during the early days. So we like to hear from them. So I'll first invite His Grace Vijayata Prabhu. Please come and speak. And Mataji after that. Prabhuji, please come. Yeah. We are organizing this space. You'll have to a little bit climb, so you come in the camera.
Hare Krishna. When my wife and I first came here to Juhu in late 74 or early 75, January of 75, that's when we first met Haridas Prabhu. And we were both much younger. We were both young men. Everybody in Juhu at the time was young men. And there was only not very many Indian-bodied devotees. And Haridas was one who was always very present. Of course, Lokanath Maharaj and his cousin, and of course, your very own Lakshmi Narayan Prabhu here. But then he was just a 10-year boy. So the rest of the devotees were all from the West. They were all Westerners because we didn't need visas. We could stay for some time, years and years. So we did. So when we started the construction of the temple, Haridas would always like to come over to the construction office. This is an old building, used to be over there. And because he knew that at 4 o'clock, I hope Giriraj doesn't find out about this. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we would always, Sarabi Swami and Nishraygunya and Ekanath Prabhu always arranged that there would be some sweet yogurt, nice cold sweet yogurt. And we all loved Haridas so much. He was such a unique devotee, always very enthusiastic. It was actually a competition between him and Lokanath Brahmachari at the time about dancing and in kirtan and singing and smiling. He was always very active like that. And it really inspired me, being a new person, to see the enthusiasm that he had for chanting the holy name. But when Srila Prabhupada was present, which happened a lot in those days here in Juhu, he was always the first one to jump in and do something for Srila Prabhupada. He would always want to be involved as close as possible to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. And that always inspired me as well. And all the devotees, with his enthusiasm and his love for Srila Prabhupada and his dedication to Srila Prabhupada. We spent several years here together, wandering around the construction site as the temple was getting built up. And then after some time, my wife and I moved back to Canada for a while. And I lost track of what Haridas was doing. And so I'm so happy to hear some of the middle time. And then 5 years ago, we came here and we brought 2 of our adult sons with us. And we met Haridas again. It was nice to connect with him. And he was doing his video business at the time. He just treated us like we had not actually disappeared for 40 years. It was like we had just moved somewhere for a few hours or something. He just treated us like a gentleman. And he became really interested in one of our sons, who was also like a techie kind of guy. And he wanted to, after they had got together for some time and he showed them the studio and so on, he came to me and he requested, can I have your son? So, you want my son? He says, yeah, I want your son to help me take over. I'm getting old and I can't do these things. And I'd like your son to take over, my video business here in Bombay. And I said, gee, Prabhu, we're just on a tour and I'll ask him. But it was kind of him to ask, that was his nature, right? He wanted to, he always wanted to engage people. He always wanted to engage people in Krishna consciousness. So when he sees the slightest bit of interest in someone, in a seva, a different service, any kind of service, he would encourage them to do it. Let's just do it. So unfortunately, we had to decline, and my son wasn't able to help with that. And then another few years went by, and we came last year. And I had the idea that I wanted to see Haridas again. And I had heard over the years that his health was failing and that now he was bedridden a lot, and he would come down for Guru Puja, for Darshan and Guru Puja together. So when we came last year, I had the great fortune to be here, my wife and I, for a couple of weeks. And when he would come down for Guru Puja, he was in a wheelchair. So I would always greet him in the temple room at his wheelchair, and we would have darshan together of his loving deities, and then stand together through Guru Puja. Then we left after a couple of weeks, and I didn't hear much in the last year about Haridas. I knew he was not well. So when we came back to India this year in January, which is, in June, we usually come in the winter. This time we came in the summer. And I had to go for treatment myself. And I was thinking about Haridas, and I thought, I hope he waits. I want to see him again. I want to read some Prabhupada books to him before he leaves. I want to try and reciprocate with him and do some service for him. So when we came back 2 weeks ago, after a day or two, I went up to his room, and I saw that he was in basically the same position because of what he had, the disease he had. His right hip was in terrible condition, and it was always crossed over. His left hip was always crossed over his right leg, and his left arm was always down by his side, and his right arm was across his waist. And so I went in there on Friday, I think it was, and I paid my obeisances to him, and it appeared that he was conscious, but not a lot, but some. And I asked him, Prabhu, I'm going to read something for you from Prabhupada's books. I'm going to read some stuff. Is that all right? And he nodded that would be okay to read. So I started reading to him. My idea was to go every day and do some reading. And after some time, he said, it looked like he was trying to speak to me. So I couldn't hear him because his voice, after not speaking for so long, you lose your voice. So I had to put my ear right down to his face and ask him, what is it, Prabhu? What are you saying? And he said, I can't understand. I can't understand what you're reading. And I said, you can understand my English? He said, yes, but I can't concentrate. I can't concentrate. And I said, so do you want me to stop reading? And he said, yes. So I stopped reading, and we sat together for a while. And I grabbed his hand, and I said, Haridas Prabhu, you don't have to stay here. You've done all this amazing seva for Srila Prabhupada. Please don't stay any longer. I want you to consider just leaving. You can leave now. You've done your seva. You've been here for so long. Srila Prabhupada is here. He'll take you. And then I left. I missed a couple of days. And then I went back 2 days before Radhastami. And he was still in that same position. And I asked him again, Prabhu, can I do some reading today? And he said, he didn't say anything. And it appeared that he was quite sedated at that time. So I stayed with him for a little while. I was reading anyways. I was hoping it wasn't disturbing him. Then I asked him, I told him again, I said, Prabhu, I have to leave now, but I'll be back in a couple of days. And I want to ask you again, please don't be attached to staying here. It's time for you to go. I want you to go. Prabhupada wants you to go. The devotees want you to be peaceful. It's time for you to go. You don't have to stay now. You can leave. Prabhupada is here. He's waiting for you. Please go. And I left the room. And then the next day at 5 o'clock, somebody told us that he had just left his body. And Ari and I were so happy. It was just wonderful that he had a chance to do that here in Bombay with all this loving devotees. And we're so honored to be able to have been part of that. And thank you for having us. Shri Haridas Prabhu Ki Jai.
Thank you, Vijayada Prabhu. Before I invite Her Grace Arya Mataji, we want to invite Srila Prabhupada to come and bless Haridas Prabhu. Are we ready, Kalcharan Prabhu? In between, when Haridas Prabhu was quite sick, when I was in his room, he told me that today morning, when he passed urine, some blood also came out. He had some infection. And it happened multiple times, and he repeatedly went to the hospital. And once when he was going in the car, so many times blood leaked, even in the lobby and the lift. So then I happened to know that he's going to Bhaktivinoda Hospital, which is quite far from here. So we suggested him, why don't we go to Kokilaben Ambani Hospital that is close by. He was a little reluctant because then he said, new doctor, again all the tests. Then we spoke to the doctor in Bhaktivinoda Hospital and he also said it is good, you go nearby. And then we took him to Ambani Hospital. We got a very nice urologist. He gave the medicines to stop the blood. At the same time, he performed some tests, and in few days, Haridas Prabhu's diagnosis was that he has cancer, and the doctor immediately admitted him and did the surgery, and the surgery went fantastic. Haridas Prabhu eventually recuperated. That was an episode. I got an opportunity to serve him. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. So I request Her Grace Arya Mataji to please come and speak.
Thank you for offering me this opportunity to say a few words about Haridas Prabhu. I'm just going to refer to my notes here. Thank you. So from the very beginning of our arrival at Hare Krishna land in January of 75, Haridas was present. He'd already surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet 2 or 3 years earlier, so he was already a senior devotee even then. Haridas had a very friendly way about him, and he really enjoyed being part of an international group of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. He quickly picked up English by taking any opportunity to engage in English discussions with the international core group of resident devotees coming from such countries as Germany, Sweden, Holland, Australia, UK, Canada, and of course, the United States of America and India. Early one morning, Haridas had a Mangala arati, milk sweets set aside for Srila Prabhupada, when he suddenly discovered that a stray cat was licking the sweets, and he was bitterly disappointed. A neophyte devotee suggested that perhaps he could still offer it to Srila Prabhupada because Mahaprasadam can't be contaminated. But Haridas, of course, became extremely disturbed by this offensive suggestion and said, "Why don't you eat it?" So that was that. He was very attached to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and would never even consider doing anything that might cause Srila Prabhupada any harm. Haridas had a strong personal presence here at Hare Krishna land for so long that we're surely feeling a void in his absence. His convalescence lasted for more than a year, and being confined to bed for so long must surely have been quite difficult for such a normally active and dynamic personality. We pray that Haridas Prabhu is reunited with his eternal Savior and Guru Dev, his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, all glories to the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who just like desire trees fulfill the desires of everyone and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Hari Bol Jai, Haridas Prabhu Ki Jai.
Thank you, Arya Mataji. We are also fortunate to have His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu here, who is very well known, our own Vrindavan Sadhu from ISKCON Vrindavan. And Dinabandhu Prabhu is always very affectionately concerned about all his god brothers and god sisters. And I guess it's mercy that he is here when Haridas Prabhu funeral time, right? Funeral time, Prabhu Ji was here, and today he's here with us. So I request him to please come and speak. You want the mic there, Prabhu?
Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamem Dadati Swapadantigam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhuvevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I felt very honored that, although I wasn't here at the moment that he was disappeared, but just like maybe 20 minutes after he left this world, I was able to be here with my dear godbrother Haridas. And I'm very happy that I'm able to be here for the memorial service for my very dear friend and godbrother. My association with Haridas probably begins back in 1974, because we came here after that time it was the Mayapur Vrindavan festival. We spent 2 weeks Mayapur, 2 weeks Vrindavan. And then we came here for the big protests because the city had not given permission, and the police commissioner said our Harinam on our property was a public nuisance. So Prabhupada wanted some devotees to come for a Harinam protest. So I was here, and that was my first time to India. And in Mayapur, they had told me all about this, that they take young children and they maim them somehow, cripple them somehow or another, make them beg. And this was Haridas. We came here, we met Haridas, and he told us that, because that he was crippled in his hand. So that was done forcibly. And we saw this thing. We were just, couldn't believe these things like this happen. And so that was probably, I don't remember much from 1974, but I'm sure I remember meeting him. Because somehow I'm good at languages, so I learned a little bit of Bengali. So I said, "Apni ke monachan," "Ami khub bolo achi." So later, we came to stay in India since 1984. We would come here quite often and get association with Haridas, and he'd tell us so many stories. And it was just, the whole thing is just amazing. Here's some fellow. There was the Hindu-Muslim riots were going on in Bengal. He was just standing there in the street. People were being killed. Some lady just grabbed him and took him away. So he has no idea who his real mother and father was. I've forgotten the name of that lady. She served in Mayapur for so long, and somehow he started life as begging for some gang. They maimed him. They made him go in the streets and beg. Can't remember the story, how he got away from that. Somehow he came here, he got arrested. He saw the Bhakti Godhead in the prison, and we all know about the watch, and somehow he got permission from Giriraj to, we just heard how he came here and slept outside here and there, and finally Giriraj let him come in his temple. And he went to Bombay, and he personally told me that Prabhupada, found out there was some Bengali. So Prabhupada was, called him up to his room. And then Prabhupada asked him, "Why did you come here?" And he said, "Well, to steal your watch." And Prabhupada took off the watch, put it on the table, said, "Don't steal, take it." He said, "No, I don't want your watch. I want to become like you." So from such a beginning, and where Haridas went with his, ISKCON TV and so many things. And he told us, he was amazed because he wanted to do personal service for Prabhupada. So Prabhupada would have him go to the market and buy some fruit. And he was always so amazed because Prabhupada would give him money. And then he'd come back and he said, "How much was this? How much was that? And where's the 5 rupees change?" He said, "Here's this guy. He's running a movement all over the world. And why he's worried about 5 rupees?" One time I took, a little bit extra, and I bought a chocolate bar, and I came into Prabhupada's room and I paid my obeisances, and I had it in my bead bag. So when I paid my obeisances, it fell on the floor, and Prabhupada said, "What's that?" He said, "So now I'm, a thief. He's caught. So what does he do? He tries to bribe." He said, "You take half." And Prabhupada said, no, we don't take that thing. You don't steal. Huh? He said, so anyway, I was just stealing, little, 2 and 5 rupees here and there. But later, with all the things he did with ISKCON TV and so many things, he said, and his life membership, he said, I paid back Prabhupada millions of times over. But somehow or other, from this beginning, not even, I can't imagine not knowing your mother, who's your real mother and father. And somehow we heard the story, Prabhupada signed his passport papers that I'm the father, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, you saw on Haridas's passport, that this is the power of Srila Prabhupada, that he took somebody from such a beginning and all the way up to, Tata Sky and so many things. And I remember Haridas, my personal memory with Haridas was that he came to Vrindavan to film. some parts for his Atma program. So somehow he took me out on a boat on the Jamuna at Bisramghat, and we were telling all the stories like that. And somehow he showed that. And then somehow or other for the Atma series, the what do you call the introduction? Always there was 2 seconds of me on the Jamuna at Bisramghat. So, and he of course wanted to do more, but somehow he never did any more. But I was always amazed at how, from such a humble beginning, by Prabhupada's mercy, he went to such a high, such an incredible level. We can't imagine, how Prabhupada's mercy acts. So we're very happy that we could be here for his passing and for being here in this memorial service to offer our homages to him. And we're very sure, because he was so dear to Prabhupada, that Prabhupada just took him in his embrace and took him to the lotus feet of SriSriRadhaRasbihari. Haridas Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Dinbandhu Prabhu. This chocolate story Haridas Prabhu personally shared with me as well. And he added saying that after he offered chocolate to Prabhupada, Prabhupada took little bite and he told him, you just sit here. And Prabhupada went in his kitchen and in few minutes came with a very hot piping halwa. And he gave to Haridas Prabhu and he said, anytime you want sweets, you want to eat sweet, you tell me, I'll give you this sweet halwa, but don't take chocolate. And Haridas Prabhu, when he was narrating to me, he had tears in his eyes. He said, you will never see a spiritual master like this, who didn't chastise me for a chocolate, didn't punish me for a chocolate, but instead went and made halwa for me so that I take halwa, I have a higher taste, I don't have a lower taste of chocolate. So Haridas Prabhu has been very grateful to be part of ISKCON. So next I was actually hoping to invite His Honor Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj has stepped out. So I request now Bhima Prabhu to please come and speak. You're okay to come now? He spoke.
Om Agyanativirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the first time I met Haridas was in 1975. We were going from Mayapur in a train to Hyderabad. Srila Prabhupada was going to do a Pandal program in Hyderabad. And after that, we were all supposed to go to Krishna Balaram Mandir for the opening of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. So, yeah, I was in that, with the whole bogey was just devotees, only devotees. And there was Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and there was Achyutananda, and there was Brahmananda, and like that. A lot of senior devotees were there. And at one point, Haridas got off and bought some cucumbers, right? So he had a little pocket knife, and he cut the end of the cucumber, and he was scrubbing it like that. And while he was scrubbing the cucumber, this white foam was coming out of the cucumber. And he told me, that you don't eat. that you throw away, and then you can eat the cucumber. So I learned something that day. I never knew that before. And since that time, I always cut the cucumber and go like that and take the foam out, throw it away, and then eat the cucumber. So then somehow, I didn't meet really Haridas again for quite a while. But when I came to stay in Juhu, of course, Haridas was there. This was just before the opening in 1977. And that time Haridas was doing life membership, and his partner was Pundarik Vidyanidhi, right? So they were going every day in the city and making life members. And Haridas was always, he was always like an actor. He always had some kind of action going on and, different things. But Srila Prabhupada tells a story about Haridas. I don't know if somebody mentioned this already, but Prabhupada was talking about the holy name. And actually, Prabhupada had told Haridas to travel and preach. So he wound up in Russia. And he was out on the street and he was chanting Hare Krishna. But after some time, the police came and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, this is a cinema song from India." And at that time, still even now probably, the movies from India, from Bollywood, would come to Russia, and they would have Russian subtitles. So the people in Russia, they liked, the Bollywood stars from India. So Haridas just used that as an excuse for chanting Hare Krishna. No, this is a cinema song. This is an Indian cinema song. So Prabhupada relates that story about Haridas, how he had fooled the Russian police, telling that chanting Hare Krishna was a cinema song. So Prabhupada took personal care of Haridas, even though he was kind of from a very rough background. Srila Prabhupada molded him. When a diamond comes out of the ground, it's rough, right? And expert polishers come and they cut the angles in the diamond so that it reflects the light and reflects colors. So Srila Prabhupada had that ability to take a diamond from the rough, and Haridas was certainly a rough diamond, but he molded it in such a way and made him a unique servant of Lord Krishna and a very unique personality, who all the devotees, as far as I could see, had a great affinity for. And certainly we're going to miss his association here in Hare Krishna land, and know that, of course, we'll meet up with him again at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, His Grace Bhima Prabhu. Now I request His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj to please come and speak.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pricharine Nirbhishesha Shunyavadi Vasyata Deshatharani Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Feeling sincerely grateful for this opportunity to offer the flowers of my gratitude to Haridas Prabhu. Truly a extraordinary, dedicated, surrendered servant of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sometimes, actually, it was always a highlight of my coming to SriRadhaRasbihariTemple to meet with Haridas. When he was moving around, wherever his particular office or quarters was, he would bring me there just to speak and reveal his heart. I'm remembering so many stories he would tell me, but the emphasis was always Srila Prabhupada's mercy upon him. And when he would speak, often he would cry. You know, he was a very, as Bhima Prabhu and Dinabandhu Prabhu were speaking, he was a very strong, rough background. But when he would speak about Srila Prabhupada's mercy, he would cry like a child in gratitude. And from his heart, he would compare himself to Jagai and Madhai. And as Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai and Madhai and gave them the greatest gift, Srila Prabhupada had done that for him. And when he would describe his past and his kind of very dark side of before he met Srila Prabhupada, he would explain it with such pride in Srila Prabhupada's mercy and Srila Prabhupada's personality. At the very beginning of today's memorial service, from His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj's book, it was read about Srila Prabhupada's first meeting with Haridas. We've all heard it many times, but it's an extraordinary story that nobody else compares in that bhava. He's in prison, and he saw Back to Godhead magazine. How that Back to Godhead magazine got in the prison. And when he saw, as a pickpocket, when he saw Srila Prabhupada's watch, this is the way he explained it to me. He was thinking a sadhu was not attached, so I could easily take that watch from him. So when he got out of prison, he came here looking for Srila Prabhupada with that idea. And he first met His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. And Giriraj Maharaj, as the servant of Srila Prabhupada, really melted his heart and started engaging him in devotional service. Gave him the name Haridas out of affection, and sent him to Hyderabad to meet Srila Prabhupada. And Haridas would say, I came to steal Srila Prabhupada's heart. I came to steal Srila Prabhupada's watch, but Srila Prabhupada stole my heart. And when Srila Prabhupada stole his heart, it was completely beyond time. into that timeless realm of devotional service to SriSriRadhaRasbihari. How Haridas Prabhu loved this temple. How he loved SriSriRadhaRasbihari. His whole life was around this. He saw the struggles with his own eyes during those days of struggling. He saw how Srila Prabhupada and the devotees developed this temple against all odds, with so many hardships. And how much he valued this project. And oftentimes he would tell me how to impart to the newer devotees what Srila Prabhupada and the original devotees did to establish this project. How that devotees will not take for granted the most magnificent darshan of SriSriRadhaRasbihari and their abode, Hare Krishna land. There are so many things could be said, but one of the aspects of Haridas Prabhu's life of devotion that deeply inspires me is, to the degree from the core of his heart, he really appreciated those devotees who were giving their lives to Srila Prabhupada and who helped him. I can't remember any meeting I had with him when he wouldn't describe Giriraj Swami Maharaj's mercy to him. And how he loved His Holiness Sridhar Maharaj. He would love to talk about Sridhar Maharaj's relationship with him. And whenever I would come here after Sridhar Maharaj had departed from this world, he would take me by the hand to that memorial exhibition of some of Sridhar Maharaj's life that's here. He would so affectionately and proudly tell story after story about Sridhar Maharaj's mercy to him, as he would show me the articles in that little museum, and how much he appreciated His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj for all of his years of devotion, helping to develop this project. Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And so many of the devotees who are here today. Yes, Haridas Prabhu, he was very much personifying this essential quality of what Srila Prabhupada gave us, of a true Vaishnava, in the way he gave 100% absolute all credit of everything he was and everything he did to the mercy of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and the mercy of those devotees, those God brothers and God sisters, who actually engaged him in the loving service of Srila Prabhupada. When the news came that he departed from this world on the eve of Radhastami, I felt so lost in that state of not being able to come and meet him and see him and feel his affection, his encouragement. And when Rajahari Prabhu told me about this memorial service, I'm so grateful I could be here and offer a garland and a flower. Yes, RadhaRasbihariTemple in Juhu, and for that matter, the whole of ISKCON is so much built on the foundation of such a great devotee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. We also have among us His Great Narasimhan Prabhu. Not only Narasimhan Prabhu and Haridas Prabhu have same spiritual master, they have same service as well in ISKCON television. Haridas Prabhu he shared his profile in Facebook as a digital creator, and he has 17,000 followers. And he once called me and showed me his Facebook profile and how he is preaching extensively and connecting many devotees. So His Grace Narasimhan Prabhu. Also, I will like to mention to the speakers, if you want to sit and speak, there is a chair available. Thank you.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Shatarane Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Pachitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Haridas began as a thief. And I will say, and you will understand after I speak, that he also left as a thief. I first heard of Haridas and the name ITV after we had worked very hard in Los Angeles to create ITV and make it viable for the society. That was starting in 1979. And many years later, not having traveled much in India during those years in the 80s, we heard that there was another ITV that had come up. So that's the first thing he stole, was our ITV. Damn it, what is this ITV India? And it was the beginning of really the miniaturization of the technology that was really very expensive. So how was somehow or another ITV going to succeed in backward India? And then I also heard at the same time that a movie had been produced, on the story of Haridas. And we didn't have any way of seeing that movie or anything, and I had no personal experience of Haridas. And we said, well, let's include that movie in our collection to be able to spread it around through all the temples where we had monitors for showing ITV and selling it on VHS tapes. But there was some dispute with the movie in terms of who actually produced it, who actually owned it, and it was not going to be made available to us because there was a hope that I think it was going to be distributed to the theaters. So year after year, I kept inquiring. We'd certainly like our ITV world was expanding. We were actually increasing our distribution. And still, I had no idea who is this Haridas and why did he make a movie based on his name? How egotistical was that? And that's all I knew about Haridas for so long. And finally, I came to Mumbai and I met Haridas, and I was a little bit fearful of our first meeting because I'd heard that he was somewhat of a curmudgeon, somewhat of a person that was not the easiest to deal with. And when I entered, he was very welcoming and completely hospitable to me and appreciative of the service. And I had no idea who I was really dealing with. And we sat down to discuss, and he said, no, we're going to make this Haridas. It was before he started really to expand and create what's now filming us. That's the result of his work. He created a whole team. It takes a village to actually do what he did. And he brought in and inspired people. He gathered the means of production, the money to be able to pay people and encourage them in their devotional work to have the kinds of coverage that was able to be sold to Sony and Colors. And it was just unique as that whole mechanism of broadcasting Krishna consciousness became viable in the world. And Prabhupada had said to Karandar in 1972, he says, if you can put me on TV once a week, my mission will be fulfilled. That's how Srila Prabhupada understood the power of the media. And here was Haridas doing it in still not a very highly developed technological India, certainly nothing compared to what it is today. And he was like a mystery to me. And I remember going in and saying, he was telling me a little his story of how he began and what happened, and of course, all the famous anecdotes that we've all heard. And I said, after 2-3 years, we still hadn't gotten Haridas to be able to distribute, but I kind of just given up on that idea. I said to him, Haridas, you should really write a book about what your experience. It will be very useful for other devotees. Just like I know so much more now about Srila Prabhupada than I did during Srila Prabhupada's presence, because of all my god brothers and my god sisters have shared their experiences. You, as second, third generation, you know more than we did at that time, because Srila Prabhupada was very much insulated after about 1971. So I said, Haridas, you really should, he says, I'm doing it, but it will not be published until after my death. And I took that kind of like, why wouldn't you want to share it now? But I also understood that it was part of his humility. He was actually very, he was very, although he could be very straightforward with you to the point sometimes of being rather callous, he at the same time was very humble. He didn't want to blow his own horn. And as many times as I encouraged him to share those stories now while he was alive, I don't know if he's left any of those writings. I would hope that he did, but he wasn't willing to do it while he was alive. And he also was very honest, because he told me, I left ISKCON. When I went to America, I got into really deep Maya. And he shared some of that, which I don't think is appropriate. And then the beauty of it is the redemption, that when people sometimes go away, the coming back, as Prabhupada has illustrated in his instructions to us, to never broadcast the fall downs of devotees, the coming back, that's the hardest of all, because for one who's been honored, dishonor is worse than death. And he came back. And many people in their spiritual life go through ups and downs and ups and downs. And just the fact that you continue on is such a sign of your strength. And that was Haridas. And that was Haridas's example. When I was living in Giriraj's office for a couple of years, of course, his offices were just a few feet away. And I would often go in just to shoot the breeze with Haridas. And he would tell me, he said, my office is open to you, but from 2 to 4. That's when my door is open. He had a very strict kind of schedule for himself. And if you went to the office before or after those hours, if you noticed, nobody answered the door. What he did, what he was doing, he was such a unique individual. He showed how a person in an institution of ISKCON can still forge their own path, their own terms by which they deliver service. It's really he's such a unique example in that way. So you've heard so many of the anecdotes. I don't have a lot of that personal experience with him that so many of you had in the early days, but I do know that he still remained. Oh, before I finish. So then finally, Sridhar Swami comes to LA and he comes to me and he gives me these big pneumatic tapes. These are the originals of the Haridas movie. Distribute it. I'm tired of fighting with everybody. Distribute it. I said, okay. So we, in order to fit it on the 2-hour tape, we had to edit it. Oh, editing that tape was such an offense to any filmmaker. If you edit their film, it's an offense. But the Haridas Prabhu, that was the greatest offense. It took years for him to forgive me. I mean, I would come to Bombay every year, and he would really say, "Why did you edit you don't have the right to this thing." And then over somehow or another, as time went on, he just kind of gave it up. I would give the excuse. I said, "Well, Sridhar Maharaj is your authority." So I just took it on authority. I wasn't doing anything against you. I mean, as far as I knew, he said ISKCON owned the project. He had a real hard time with that, as all artists do with their work. But the beauty is that we ended up our relationship over the past 10, 12 years, just as him encouraging me in my work to carry on what he started, which was to put Krishna consciousness into the cinemas. That was his desire. And just like Prabhupada's desire was to finish the Srimad Bhagavatam, although he didn't get a chance to, it doesn't dilute or reduce that service at all. One just does the best they can, and everything you leave it up to Krishna. And that was Haridas for me. And we became very good friends. And he encouraged me, gave me tips, what to do, contacts, etc. And I'm still striving. And I do it in that inspiration that comes from great people, great souls like Haridas. So I end this with the conclusion of why he still remains a thief. And that's because during the course of our lives, he stole all of our hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Narsinganand Prabhu. Connecting to the story of the film Haridas Thakur, we also have Surdas Prabhu on Zoom, who is right now, I guess, in Jhansi, and he would like to speak. Surdas Prabhu, are you able to hear us? Yeah, Surdas Prabhu, you can speak, unmute and speak.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurume Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyati Deshe Tarini. Thank you very much, Gokuleshwar Prabhu, allowing me to speak on this day when we have lost Haridas Prabhu. In 1978, I came in touch with the first person was Chitrakar Prabhu, and the second person was Haridas Prabhu. Because in 1978, I came to Bombay for pursuing a movie career as I graduated from Pune and other institutes. So the first person when I met Chitrakar Prabhu, so he immediately told me on the next day, that is of 12th of October 1978, he said that we have a film personality here. His name is Haridas Prabhu. So next day I met, on 13th of October, I met Haridas Prabhu. And he was very happy. He said that, oh, you are from an institute? You are from film institute? Oh, I know so many film personalities. And that was my first connection with him. And obviously I started my movie career, and I had a degree and so many other things. But that was the connection when I met Haridas Prabhu, and that friendship continued till we accomplished Haridas Thakur film. Because in 1979, we started scripting the Haridas Thakur film. Until that time, I had already some name in the industry, and we had so many film people as common friends. But he was very kind to me. He handed over me the bead bag of Srila Prabhupada. He also handed over to me the golden buttons, what Prabhupada ji used to wear. And then I continued to be with the association. And but yes, he was basically, he used to like films. When I used to be working on the commercial films, he would spend almost about a couple of hours, more than a couple of hours, maybe 5-6 hours sitting along with me when I was in my profession, doing my films, editing films, producing films. And then, he and myself, we made a wonderful company called Govinda Films International, where we wanted to make a wonderful film on Haridas Thakur. Well, so I had also a movie friend, his name, I don't know whether he is there today or not, is Ravi Mehra. He was working with the one Rakesh Kumar as an assistant. And I was a full-fledged film editor in the industry. So we said that, okay, let us join the hands. And we made company, and then we started with Haridas Thakur film. But in due course of a time, we produced the film. I begged the money from all the people, well-wishers. I had my own money. We had put in that money in that movie. That continued up to, 81. And after that, then Giraj Maharaj also intervened in that film. But in 82, I took an exit because there was not a good relationship between him and me. And ultimately, the film had taken a different course. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, in the meantime, I took initiation in 82. And that's why I mend my ways. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj gave me the seva. We remained good friends, but it was not the same as before because he had come out of ISKCON and he was staying nearby somewhere. And in that course of a time, he, sort of lost the touch of all the devotees, and he was staying separately. And then he went to Mira Road. Over there, he purchased a flat, all that thing. But my course started, whatever was guided by Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And many times we had many fights also, because I had invested a lot of money in that movie, and Giraj Maharaj was also there, and I used to raise funds. So that was it. 82, I quit. I said that nothing more to do with the movie. I was guided by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj for my spiritual journey, whereby he made me to serve. Maybe he knew that we were very arrogant lords, and he made me to serve in Govindas very nicely, where I started managing the Govindas and cleaning the pots also. And in due course of a time, I kept my relationship high, but not. But yes, some anecdotes which I will tell you, which will give you a little more, understanding how we went. He was the person who took me to Vrindavan. Actually, you can say that first time we went to Vrindavan, himself and myself, Bhushan Lakhandri, one of the topmost, dance director who is directing now the Himaji's all, ballets. He and myself, we went to Haridas Prabhu, and I think he was the first person along with whom I went to Vrindavan. And for that matter, I'm really thankful to him that he exposed me to Raj Bhoga. That was way back in 1979. And after that, once we completed the movie, Haridas Prabhu, myself, and Ravi Mehra, he said that let us go to Mayapur. And we took a car. We had a common friend called Shantilal Jain from Raipur. In way back in 1981, we took a car from, Raipur, and we went there. We went to Mayapur. On the way to his birthplace, Haridas Prabhu was from Ranchi. And Ranchi, he had his own little house, and some people were staying there, but he was not happy with them. So we could see that he had a little, some background of poor family. But he was wanting us to see. And many times showed us the place, how Haridas Prabhu came all the way, ran away from Ranchi to Bombay, and he used to stay in Bombay near VT station. He personally took me to all these places where he was staying on a footpath. And then furthermore, he also told me that Manu Narang, who was then at the time the owner of Ambassador Hotel, which is next to Churchgate on that lane, he picked him from the roadside and gave him a complete wash in some place. And he used him for a long time as a drug trafficker. And he used to go and supply the drugs. And then physically he was all right at the time, but he was tortured in the cell because he was knowing boxing or something. I don't know whether that was true or not, but he said that this is what police people did to me, my physical body, because they used to caught him. They used to catch him many times, selling the drugs. And I remember when we were passing through Ujjain, and he also met a friend who was in the drugs, and both of them met at a secluded place, and we met. We were in a car over there also when we were going towards Mayapur. He said that, yes, I used to supply the drugs to him when I was Manu Narang's person. So that was his background, but he was fortunate enough to come in contact with Srila Prabhupada, who made him. That's very, very important to know for all of us, because when he was wanting to go to America at the time, he had no passport, and Srila Prabhupada made him, in that passport, he wrote, my father is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This is one aspect of it. And he was the only person who was having car in those days, because he used to do membership. Now, I just wanted to tell you how expert was he. Connect. He introduced me to Sohanlal Kanwar. He introduced me to, Manoj Kumar. He introduced to Shakti Kapoor, who was a struggler at the time. He used to come to Hare Krishna land. He also gave, this is for all of you to know this, he also gave a black bead bag to Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan was doing good in those days. And Amitabh Bachchan, he told me personally, he handed over a black bead bag to Amitabh Bachchan. And then in that bead bag, beads, neck beads, he shot the complete film Janjeer, which was directed by, Prakash Mehra. that film became very, very successful. And of course, sometimes when I was not fully in the Bollywood then, some people used to go to Amitabh Bachchan and all that. What happened, that's a big story. But this is the story. A lot of movie people were connected with him, and he used to preach still. Later on, he preached also to so many people. Prakash Mehra used to come. J.M. Prakash, who used to meet Srila Prabhupada on the, on the sea beach, he used to walk. I remember he used to come till late. He used to come and offer his obeisances to Srila Prabhupada on his disappearance day, because there were so many filmmakers used to go on the beach to walk along with Srila Prabhupada. So he was also, Haridas Prabhu was a very good singer also. Sometimes he will lead Guru Puja. You can imagine after coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada, how he transformed himself. He learned English. He was speaking to the people, all the God brothers and God sisters in English. He also preached to some wonderful people. And I'm thankful to him that at least for some good time, he gave me a wonderful association. He developed ITV. And in this through ITV, he did a lot of work of recording so much of footage, which will through Star, TV and other many places. So how Krishna and Srila Prabhupada blessed him, such a person who's from practically, you can say, from a roadside, he came up to this level that he could fulfill the desire what he had within, and that desire transformed into him, that fruitified in such a manner that he engaged lots of senior devotees into recording the Bhagavad-gita, lectures. And I remember so many people, so many senior Vaishnavas gave the lectures on that, and that went viral. So this credit goes to him. And of course, I can never forget him, what he, how we spent the early days in making the Haridas Thakur film at Karjat when there was no farm, when we had a farm over there. But now you can see how, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, now you can see we have a wonderful farm in Karjat also, almost about 100 acres. Back again, though we don't have the same farm where we shot Haridas Thakur film, but Krishna gave to me another 100 acres of land in Karjat where we are going to do something. You can see that Karjat has got some attraction. We shot, and just Chitrkar Prabhu came to know about the demise of Haridas Prabhu, and he said, yes, I'm thankful to him that, he connected me to the Kaushalya, who was the film actress of that Haridas Thakur film, and I got married to him. I'm really thankful to him for connecting me to Kaushalya. We got married. Chitrkar Prabhu got married. He had son, and now, of course, he settled down in Switzerland. And like that, so many good qualities Haridas Prabhu has. And one important quality he had, once we are going in a car, he said that, see how I make life members. With the right hand, he used to drive the car, the left hand, when there was a signal, and he will hand over the farm to him. See, we are from Hare Krishna Mandir. Would you like to become a life member? And to my surprise, let me tell you frankly, the people used to get impressed immediately, and they used to take farm, and he became very famous in becoming a membership preacher at the time. And he had his own first car, Starline car, Fiat, which he used to use for life membership. And we used to go along with him to different top people to make life members and do many good things, for Srila Prabhupada. So these are some of my anecdotes. I am on the car, and I hope, I don't know whether you are able to hear it properly, but my pranams to him. For second person whom I came in touch with in ISKCON, I will never forget his association, or will never forget the making of Haridas Thakur film, which of course didn't see the light because of our some problems, which I will not like to mention here. But I must pray to him that he has at least given me some good things what Srila Prabhupada used to use, and I will cherish such memories in my life, and I will never forget in my life. Thank you very much, Prabhus, and all the. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sudas Prabhu, for joining on Zoom. Sudas Prabhu very much
There are so
wanted.
many things to say, but I know there are so many other people, and I'm in a car. I can't mention so many things.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sudas Prabhu very much wanted to be with us in the program. He also offered his suggestion to do the program tomorrow as he is arriving back to Mumbai, but it seems it didn't work out. Majority wins. Majority of devotees are not available tomorrow. Thank you, Sudas Prabhu, once again.
Thank you very much.
Now I would request Her Grace Jalatala Mataji to speak. Mataji is back. We will send the mic and Mataji will speak from there.
Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinda Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kipa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Papane Bhavaishnavevana. I met Haridas Prabhu in 1976 in Jagannath Rath Yatra in Calcutta. We had every year Calcutta Rath Yatra. He came from, I don't know where, Bombay or wherever. He came there and he stayed sometime in our Radha Govinda temple. Then when I got married, we 86, and I came to Bombay, I saw Haridas Prabhu. He was that time Brahmachari also. So when we had a small, we have a Govinda restaurant here, he used to make soup. And he used to give Prabhuji sometimes in the soup. He always liked soup. So I used to taste, and I had very nice taste. Because Bengal, we don't eat much soup, so I don't know how to cook even soup. So once I told him, oh, you make so nice soup. So he used to give sometime us and send it over to our house. We used to stay in Hare Krishna land backside. Then one time, Srila Prabhupada Vyas Puja day, I cooked for Radharasbihari's Raj Bhoga. And he also cooked for Prabhupada Vyas Puja Sukto. And I cooked other things, and all those Prabhupada whatever he liked it before, kochuri, posto, like that, so many sabjis, chutney. So we enjoyed cooking. Then afterwards the Vyas Puja offering in the temple. Those days in the temple they used to do Vyas Puja offering. So Haridas Prabhu was so nice. And once I was coming back, he used to walk in the Hare Krishna land, Gandhi Garden every day, 5 o'clock to 6. And I had also whole day work, and then I get 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock chutti from the house. So I used to walk and then go to temple and then go buy something for some sundar and come back. So I used to see him, he always walk. He chanting, walk, finish. He used to, very nice walk. Once I was Radha Kunj, we are from Hare Krishna land, gone, and then I was staying Radha Kunj, and I came back to see Radharasbihari's Arati. And 7 o'clock we were sitting outside, and before 7 o'clock I was sitting chanting, and he was walking. And then he told me, how are you? I said, okay, how are you? Then we talked a little bit, then he said, Jalatala, our enjoyment already gone. Let the other people enjoy. We enjoy too much with Prabhupada, Radharasbihari, like that. So I laughed, and then he gone. Haridas Prabhu also, when my Radha Sam Sundar 25th anniversary, he took the ITV, all the deities were coming, we were in Sital, and was coming, all the kids were coming, bringing the deities. He took the from upstairs video. And it was really nice. We had a big festival, all the devotees ate. And then the 40th anniversary, he also took the ITV. So like that, he did so much for Radha Shamsundar. I used to always send Haridas Prabhu because he is diabetes, so I make some without sugar, nice sweet for Shamsundar. So I tell Prabhuji, go give it to Haridas Prabhu. So I make kheer and give him. Last year also gave kheer and mango. And kheer came from Shamsundar kheer from feel free, it's cold. So as soon as Prabhu went, he ate immediately. He said, well, and he laughed. So this time, unbelievable that Haridas Prabhu, I didn't know when he will go so quick. He went Tuesday, which is Lolita Devi's appearance day, and Sunday, and then before Sunday, we cooked. Myself, Prabhuji cooked. He cooked chapati, sabji. We cooked chapati, parval sabji, salad, and sweet. And so there was extra chapati and sabji. I said, too much prasad for us. You can do, I told Prabhu, you can give Haridas Prabhu. Nobody is cooked for him, give some Sundar prasad. So he packed, Prabhuji immediately packed. He said, who will bring? So he tried to get one boy, Suraj, he was not available. Then he got Bajari Prabhu's assistant, what is his name? The one like the Brahmachari assistant. And he said, can you do any seva? Little seva. He said, yes, no problem. So he said, he packed it, everything, chapati, sabji, salad, sweet, and fruit, and packed it in the bag, and he said, can you give to Haridas Prabhu? So he was happy to take it. So he got a little seva last moment. I never thought next week he will go away. That was feeling so bad that as a Godfather, so go quick, nobody even thought even. Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he took care of Haridas like anything. Last moment he is going, his body is going, and to the burning heart, and before that rain came, which is very auspicious. So when we were coming today here, little rain came. I said, he is so fortunate. So, so auspicious that sign is when somebody get married or something happened, and all of a sudden rain comes, that's the most auspicious time. Haridas Prabhu, look at, he was so simple. He could have taken RadhaRasbihari's kitchen, Prasad, Raj Bhoga, or Govindo restaurant, or anybody. But he was not. He's no servant or nothing much. All of a sudden, when he got sick, then two other boys came from outside, was helping cooking. Otherwise, he was very simple. He could have taken two, his Prabhupada's disciple, old devotee, could have always have some servant or nothing like that. So Prabhupada took care of him, and when he was going, he didn't go hospital. Neither any doctor came. When he passed away, those boys came and the doctor said he already passed away. So he didn't even know pipe, nothing. Nothing happened to tube or nothing to put. He went RadhaRasbihari's place, stay there, temple, stay in front of all the kirtan going on, 5 o'clock. Before, that was also Godhuli Lagna, that good time for going marriage or whatever. So he was, before sunset, he is going there, before Sandhya. So he was so fortunate enough that Srila Prabhupada took away as his own servant, own son, and what he did, if we do like that, simple living, high thinking, we'll go maybe Srila Prabhupada's place one day. And we should all take care of ourselves, Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. So Prabhupada will sure enough take us where he is now, where Haridas Prabhu went not just now. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Haridas Prabhu.
Thank you, Jalatala Mataji. Growing in Hare Krishna land and a regular visitor now, His Grace Radha Bhava Prabhu, who stays in Middle East. He has lots of memories with Haridas Prabhu. Okay, Radha Bhava is requesting Rasraj Prabhu, His Grace Rasraj Prabhu. I request him to speak. Radha Prabhu wanted you to speak first. Glorifying Haridas Prabhu. Yeah. So please stay tuned. After Rasraj Prabhu speaks, we'll have Radha Bhava Prabhu to speak, and then we'll have memories of Haridas Prabhu. He remembers Srila Prabhupada. There is a video. We'll share that. His Grace Rasraj Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हरिदास प्रभु की जय. I have known Haridas Prabhu, like most of you, for a long time, and he's a very fortunate person, fortunate soul, who had so many pastimes with Srila Prabhupada. And I think one of the early times when I came more close in contact with him was 1986 World Congress we were organizing. He was very interested in that, and he always said, "Oh, Prabhupada, I'll be so pleased to see this conference." I used to meet him often after Mangala in the lobby. We all talk different things and of common interest. And of course, all of you heard about him wanting to steal Srila Prabhupada's watch. We all know the stories where some thief heard about Krishna having so many jewelries, and he went to the forest to try and steal from Krishna. Same thing with Lord Chaitanya. He bewildered the thieves and brought them back to the same place where they started. And the material world is, of course, everybody is a thief, but he is not, Krishna is not bewildering everybody and changing them. And only few people he changes, and for them he is known as Chitta Hari. So everybody is trying to steal from Krishna, but Krishna can steal the heart of the people that he chooses. And if we can become qualified like Haridas Prabhu, so that at least if I can become qualified so that my stealing tendencies are offset by Prabhupada's and Krishna's will, and that will be very nice. And when first Haridas saw Prabhupada's picture, he could not have stolen the watch from that picture because there's a separation. Similarly, although people are trying to steal from this world Krishna's property, nobody is thinking here is our Shimidam Sarvam. Everybody thinks this is for our enjoyment. But just like Haridas Prabhu could not could not have from the picture stolen like that. There is nothing we can steal from this level of perception we have of the material world. And there are greater levels of perception. So even to become a thief, you have to go and meet Prabhupada. Like that, we have to enlarge our consciousness just to become a thief. And if he had not met Prabhupada, Prabhupada would not have changed him. So this enlarging our consciousness so that we can go beyond this painted like existence of the world that we are in touch with right now is very important. So Haridas was very popular, famous. Haridas is very fortunate that he could go beyond the picture of Prabhupada to contact him. And similarly, we have to make the effort to contact Krishna and Prabhupada personally on a higher level. Otherwise, we won't even have a chance to display our stealing spirit. And then they won't have the chance, Krishna and Prabhupada, to purify us of that spirit. Otherwise, we would have to not only in this level. At least that's what I think of. So, Haridas is a very, very fortunate soul. He used to tell me also, like he told most people so many things. And it has been a great honor and privilege to know him. And it is, of course, a very, very happy occasion that he has sloughed off his mortal coil and, gone to Prabhupada and Krishna. So it's a very auspicious day. On this day, let us rededicate our lives to try and go closer to Prabhupada and Krishna like Haridas did. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haridas Prabhu ki jai.
Thank you, Raj Prabhu. So, Radha Bhav Prabhu, I request you to come.
Hare Krishna, respected humble obeisances at the lotus feet of His Holiness Radharasbihari Maharaj, Bhima Prabhuji, Dinabandhu Prabhu, Narasimhananda Prabhu, and all Srila Prabhupada disciples here, and all great Vaishnavas, and my Siksha Guru, His Grace, Darshan Prabhuji also. Speaking in front of all of you all, I'm humble because I've been hearing about Haridas Prabhuji with great intensity from so many of you all. I had three types of interaction with Prabhuji. I'm fortunate to be in my young days in this Hare Krishna land, because my granduncles to stay right opposite the gate. That is the first colony which came up here. So we saw the grouping of Hare Krishna, and my first section was His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj and Haridas Prabhuji. So Haridas Prabhuji basically at the time was very dedicated in making us chant Hare Krishna mantra and giving us some prasad always. And he was doing Marathi also, so he would call most of us as Matwa, like Matwa is he would say. You are not taking initiative to chant Hare Krishna mantra, just wasting your time. And you would engage all the children also in many services. And those days, brahmacharis were here. And sometimes there would be shortage of sugar or some other ingredients, and he would ask us to bring it from different places. And we would do those small sevas. I also remember there was a rickshaw here in Hare Krishna land, a greenish color one. Maybe Bhima Prabhu would remember it, a greenish color one. And it was used mostly by Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in those days. And many times we would not start. So Haridas Prabhu would come and get it on, and he would make us push those things for some maybe 10 meters or something, and he would start. So this was the initial engagement we had with him. And he was one of the person who taught us to do Kirtan with Kartal. He was very particular that we also respect the Vaishnavas. We had no clue how to be engaged with the Vaishnavas. And we had code names for different Brahmacharis those times. Like Sridhar Swami Maharaj, we used to call him Hasmukh, between us. And Loknath Swami Maharaj, we would call him Legend. And Haridas Prabhu, we would call him Hero. Like, we had code names. But he would not get upset about that. But whenever we spoke a little harsh about Loknath Swami Maharaj, he would be chastising us and, making sure that we keep our decorum. So many years we spent like that. And then there was a gap. I lost touch with Prabhuji. But he was one of the first Prabhupada disciples to come to my house also. And he was a good friend of my father. And he also helped one of my classmates to be a professional photographer. Like as Prabhuji was mentioning that when Sudas Prabhu mentioned that the Film Institute people used to come here, there was a connectivity that he gave, and he's a good photographer. His name is Deepak Ancharya. He's one of the very good photographers right now in film industry, thanks to Prabhuji. So one of the second times, and I had lost touch with Prabhuji for some time, and one day I was boarding the train Rajdhani Express and going to Delhi for some work, and Prabhuji happened to be in the same coach along with Vishnu Prabhu, who used to be here before, a tall boy. I think he has gone to US. So he was going for some movie making sent by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and there's a new temple project coming up at the time in Delhi, and Prabhuji was there. So the whole train journey, we had a lot of anti-souls, from different small happenings during early days when he used to take Prabhupada's mercy. So the same stories that you heard, I also could get a little bit of nourishment during that time. And he was very particular in preaching to all the devotees in the Rajdhani train also. And the last stages, like Prabhuji used to be always around, and I used to come back sometime from my Gulf trip, maybe give him some dry fruit sometimes. So he would always ask me to get walnuts. I don't know, he had some liking for that. So I would get that specifically for him. And one day I brought some dates for him. So he gave a very strong example, immediately connected to Krishna. He's saying that, do you know how powerful this is? I said, everybody eats there. He said, no, Krishna has made this exclusively for the Gulf. And this, you don't need any refrigeration. You can keep dates for ages together. And he said that in the whole area, there are only two foods available, dates and camel milk. And the dates contain all the potassium, iron, everything. And you can survive for dates on that. Earlier days, people used to only have dates and camel milk. So Prabhuji was like connecting everything to Krishna immediately. So he gave an example, an analogy. And I thanked him many times. He used to always put his hand on our head, and pump it up like this when he was strong and in good shape. And the last I met him was just after COVID once, and I came back and spent some time with him. But he was always loving and caring, and to the point, he would never give any chance for anybody to discuss anything other than Krishna consciousness or Prabhupada. And I always noticed that he would never like to discuss about any person behind, like he would not come out with those topics. He would only prefer to talk directly. So I just came back last week, and then came to know that Prabhuji was in the last stage and he left his body. I was in Bangalore and I thought I'll surely spend some time and take his blessings from all of you. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and all glories to His Grace Haridas Prabhuji, and all goes to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and all goes to his disciples. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Grace Radha Bhava Prabhu. So we have 2-3 of Haridas Prabhu's videos, short videos, which we will play. After that, we have few more speakers. I would have to request them to be brief because we are running out of time. One of the things Haridas Prabhu used to tell me when we used to have programs like this, and I would invite, that your prasadam gets very late. Yeah, you are on the list, Prabhu. Your prasadam gets very late, so let us not do late for today. Many of the devotees in this room I have not had breakfast. So I request the speakers after the videos to be brief. If your name is not with me, you're not given, please give your names. And yeah, we'll have videos now. Thank you.
Quickly, I get my name and my name is Haridas. When we sit to Nisha, the first thing that was another president, he tried to say, well, you in the temple, you're giving initiative. Proper look at still quiet, I know. Then from other side of the temple, back, Giras Maharaj, proper look from here. I think Maharaj, he said, do you know what it is? No. Then give us a Haridas, you know me, you know, so yeah, He said, what is your name? I said, my name, I don't know, because I was like a street bastard, and nobody knows my name, so street boy, I found it, no. Everybody would call me different name. Chotu, Kalu, Mondo, anything. Whichever area I go for pickpocketing, I get my name because I don't know my name. Every time I get caught, police ask me, what is your name? Anything comes to my mind, I do, that's my name. Anyway, wait. So I said, but Giriraj Maharaj, one of the day he came, he said, listen, mister, today is a very good day. Would you like to say your hey? I said, what is a good day? He said, Haridas Thakur's appearance day or December something. I said, go ahead, come on. So from today, call you Haridas. So I told him this incident to Prabhupada. I don't know my name, Giriraj Maharaj from Vegas. He said, keep that name and follow this. And like, let's go get an Haridas. Okay, now this is the being of ISKCON building, the guest house tower. Tower A, Bhagavad quarter, and tower B, the guest house. We are entering into the Bhagavad quarter. It is the right entrance to the lobby, and this is the desk where the secretary Krishna Maharaj is there, and this was his chamber. We are entering into the Bhagavad kitchen. This was Prabhupada kitchen. We have all the old paraphernalia of Prabhupada. For example, this is the old stove. This is cooking cooker. You can see Prabhupada would carry on this cooker, this photograph. Prabhupada personally cooking on this. And this is the pot. Okay, you can see one time you can see the rice, the alga, the tea, and one of the things. Four preparation in one cooking, which Prabhupada was making an experiment. This is the deity in our Krishna. We offer both on the kitchen. And this photograph, Prabhupada sister has visited Bombay. So this is the photograph. Now we are entering into the Prabhupada daytime office. This is the Prabhupada daytime office. Here, this day, the Prabhupada is down here, discuss with his personal secretary, official work. And here, our old Jefferson, and we have one of the last photographs of Prabhupada in Bombay, Juhu, on this Jefferson. This is one of the last photographs of Prabhupada in Bombay. Okay, now we are entering into the Prabhupada's main hall, the new building. We started with saying this was a table for dining. We used to have a lunch here. And that is actual, the last photograph of Prabhupada in Juhu, Java. This is the desk. He would translate. This is translate equipment. His old dictaphone. Now we are coming to the Prabhupada, another hall, where we display Prabhupada so many of personal use. As such, this is his bead, and there's a one wooden handled knife to open the letters in the toothpick box, and one frame of the Radha Krishna. These are from the first edition of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada brought it to Bombay, and I left it for us. This is his school. This is a book, Sanskrit he used to translate from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita mentioned it. So by then it is 1975. He asked me, now you learned so many things, you should go around the world and preach. I said, yes, I'll go. Then I tried to make my passport. Then the passport required the father's name. And I don't know who was supposed to be my father, but I didn't bother. After a month, Prabhupada, you are still here. You should go and preach. I said, I'm not getting my passport. He said, why are you not getting it? I said, they require my father's name. They bring the form there. So Anita was there for secretary, but I didn't figure the form, she typed the whole thing. He said, here, write my name as A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as your father, and it's kind, still. And I said, go get your passport. Right, and then people still getting a feel and get my passport figure. On Saturdays, I was on the flight to travel the world. Then I think Brahmananda asked him, or Bhagavat, he asked him, Prabhupada, why did you put his name, why did you put your name as his father? He said, because I put my father's name as my guru's name in my passport. In Prabhupada's passport, his guru's name was as the father. So I think, so, okay, I'm an actor. Ever since I have my all documents, my father's name is Prabhupada. And my driver's license and passport and property and everything. One day, Prabhupada at his room, he was usually, nobody was there. Usually, keep quiet. He was very serious. That day he was very laughing and talking to himself. Like his hand was like this and he was laughing. He said, Prabhupada, what you're laughing? I just went to the room and what are you laughing? Prabhupada, the reason I was laughing, I just remember my past life. And I said, Prabhupada, what was your past life? Then he said, I was a medical person and I had guru and I had no commitment, no sin. One day, I remember it was raining and rain.
on the stage on the heart. I was serving my guru at the time, and my guru was here in the danger of one snake, and he made me go and kill that snake. Then he said, now I remember why my guru Maharaj made me kill that snake. So I have to take birth again in this life to save so many snakes like you all.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Haridas Prabhu shot so many videos. Now we got his video. So I request now, Rajhans Prabhu, you want to speak? No? Hanuman Prabhu? So I request the speakers to be brief. We are about to end in some time. After Hanuman Prabhu, Adbhut Hari Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा। बहुत सारे भक्त लोग अंग्रेजी में बोले हैं, इसका बैलेंसिंग करने के लिए मैं हिंदी में बोलने वाला हूँ, और हरिदास प्रभु हिंदी जानते ही है। हरे कृष्णा। हिज ग्रेस हरिदास प्रभु जी श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के प्रिय शिष्य थे। उनकी विशेषता यह है कि उन्होंने श्री श्री राधा रासबिहारी मंदिर के लिए स्टेडी सर्विस दी। वे स्वयं बताते थे कि वे कैसे आए। उनके जब श्री प्रभुपाद जी से भेंट हुई तब उनसे प्रभावित हुए और वे समझ गए कि जीवन की सफलता इसी में है कि वह अपना अमूल्य जीवन श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के चरणों में समर्पित करें, और उन्होंने वैसा ही किया। इस शुभ अवसर पर मैं उनके चरणों में प्रार्थना करता हूं कि वे अपनी कृपा दृष्टि हम सब भक्तों पर बनाए रखे, जैसे हम लोग भी श्रील प्रभुपाद जी और श्री श्री राधा रास बिहारी के लिए अपने जीवन काल में कुछ सेवा कर सके। मैं चाहे तो घंटों तक बोल सकता हूं, तथापि भक्त लोग मेरे हृदय के भाव को समझ सकते हैं, इसलिए मैं समय का पाबंद रखते हुए मैं यहाँ मेरे वाणी को विराम देता हूं। हार्दिक शुभकामना के साथ सबको धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण। 30 सेकंड।
Yeah, Adbhut Hari Prabhu. After the Chaturbhuj Prabhu.
मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकचक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेषज्ञमधिपाष्टति लेखितानि। We have been hearing how Srila Haridas Prabhu received so much mercy from Srila Prabhupada, and that's definitely the fact. And he has been recalling so many instances, some of which we have heard this morning. But Haridas Prabhu left some mercy also for us. And what he used to point to, sometimes he would say that there is one number 1 tree here in Hare Krishna land. And it's number 1 tree. It is marked as number 1, and it's there behind the Kaliya statue. So he said, Srila Prabhupada ate one mango, and he said, I took the seed of that mango and I planted it. And this is how that tree developed. So if anybody still desires any Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that mercy is always available. That tree is still there. Of course, he would also mention about this bale tree, how Srila Prabhupada didn't allow it to be cut, yet it remained there during construction and afterwards. And I know it's just
he was always, at least I had that relationship, he was very straightforward, very transparent, very open, very friendly. He always had, mostly it was kind of some kind of a very humorous exchange. And very often there were instances that, as Devakananda Prabhu said, he would sometimes use rough language and things. So I can't disclose these exchanges that were there, which Haridas Prabhu, where he would always express it in a very, very graphic manner. But I had a lot of opportunity to have his mercy when he provided his flat to Swami Sridhar Maharaj to reside there. And then many different exchanges, and later on, while editing certain things, he would allow to use his ITV studio, and he would help and guide. So he was always very kind. Sometimes he would come and keep the flower. So I didn't like that. It would make a stain at the memorial, so I would remove it. So we had some lila like this. So, and I was thinking of one pastime, maybe I can tell, but with permission. He did use a little strong language. Yeah, I once, of course, many boys come here, they're interested in acting career. So there was one boy, he kind of seems very steady and serious about spiritual practice. So then I brought him to Haridas Prabhu, and I introduced him, and I said that this devotee is practicing, but he's also interested in acting. Do you have maybe some advice how to balance, how to continue, how to perform this devotional service? So he said, no, that's not going to work well. So I said, so I said, he's chanting and he can do acting and like this. When he wasn't convinced, so that would be possible, he said, movie industry is one thing, devotional service is another thing. He was very, very, very cutting like this, in a sense that he would divide. He was like he wouldn't compromise both things. So then he made a very strong statement. He said, either you're going to be a son of a bitch or you're going to be a devotee. So it was very, very strong like that. So, and then afterwards, of course, that devotee, somehow or other, we never saw him again. So then I thought it wouldn't be so so much appropriate then to present things in such a way. But again, this was just reality in some ways that Srila Prabhupada, Haridas Prabhu would speak from his realization, and he spent a lot of time in the Bollywood, and he would try to encourage, of course, he would present things in a very straightforward manner and try and encourage everybody in devotional life without any distractions, if that would be possible. Of course, there has to be a certain gradual way, gradual approach. But again, this was Haridas Prabhu, and we actually loved him, really appreciating him for being so transparent, so being so straightforward, being so open without holding anything behind, and that was something that really endeared him to everyone. So that's Haridas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Adbhut Hari Prabhu. Of course, we heard a bit of rough and dark side of Haridas Prabhu. Yeah, Chaturpushpo, just give me 1 minute. After his cancer surgery, I was with him post-surgery in the hospital, and he became very emotional. It was a very great life lesson for me that Haridas Prabhu for hours went on, crying, holding my hand, and he started speaking and he started sharing what all mistakes in life he did and what all sinful things he did in a language which we don't generally talk. He started sharing this he did, this he did, this he did, crying, and he said, it's because of Prabhupada I got saved after the surgery. And he became very emotional, and even I felt that this surgery cleaned his heart completely. Of course, his heart is cleaned by the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and taking initiation from Srila Prabhupada. So that was very life lesson for me that whatever our past is, we do have an opportunity to beg forgiveness, feel grateful, and continue practicing bhakti. And with that, I request Chaturbush Prabhu to please come and speak. After that, Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjan Salakaya Chakcharamilidamin Tasmai Sri Guruvena. आदरणीय सभी सीनियर वैष्णव प्रभुपाद शिष्य सबके चरणों में साष्टांग दंडवत। आप लोग बड़े सम्माननीय हैं। ऐसे से हरिदास प्रभु भी प्रभुपाद के शिष्य हैं और जितने भी प्रभुपाद के शिष्य हैं मैं बहुत ही रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ, बहुत ज़्यादा क्लोज नहीं रहता हूँ। अगर ज़रूरत है तो ही बात करता हूँ, नहीं तो हम उनके दोष को देखने की कोशिश नहीं करता हूँ। एक्चुअली किसी भी भक्त के दोष को देखना नहीं चाहता हूँ, उनकी अच्छाई को देखना चाहता हूँ। तो हरिदास प्रभु जो है हमें 82 में मिले थे, पिक्चर बना रहे थे। तो सूरदास जी उनके ज़्यादा नज़दीक थे, तो सूरदास जी ने कहा कि आप हरिदास जी को जानते हैं? मैंने कहा मैं तो पहली बार देख रहा हूँ, ये तो साथ को फिल्मी स्टार है, फिल्म बनाते हैं। नहीं, ये प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्य हैं और हमें इन्होंने भक्त बनाया है। तो उस समय से हरिदास प्रभु को जानते थे, लेकिन मैं रिस्पेक्ट उतना ही देते थे जैसे गुरुजनों को देना चाहिए। जैसे हमारे लिए गोपाल कृष्ण महाराज थे, ऐसे ही उनको भी रिस्पेक्ट करते थे और 2 ही 3 दिन हमसे मिलते थे या मैं उनसे मिलता था संक्रांति के दिन, या जब कुछ उनको कुछ खाने का मन होता था तो मुझे बोलते थे मुझे ये चीज़ दे दो। तो संक्रांति के 1 दिन पहले आते थे तो मेरे स्टॉल पे बोलते थे कि चतुर्भुज प्रभु मुझे तिल गुड़ चाहिए। तो मैं बहुत ध्यान से दूसरे दिन तिल गुड़ बना के उनके ऑफिस में भेज देता था। तो ज़्यादा मैं उनके मिलता जुलता नहीं था, क्योंकि हम बहुत प्रभुपाद के शिष्य होने के नाते बहुत रिस्पेक्ट से उनके सामने रहता था और उनके सारे सद्गुणों को मैं जानता था। कभी कभी वो किसी से, जैसे पूर्ण महाप्रभु हुए या एक वेद व्यास जी करके थे, वो लोग से ज़्यादा फ्रेंड थे वो, तो उनसे बात करते थे तो अपनी सारी अच्छाई बुराई उनको शेयर करते थे। तो मैं कभी कभी वहाँ खड़ा रहता था तो सुनता था, बोलते थे मैं बहुत बदमाश था, पिक पॉकेटर था, मैं बहुत दोषी हूँ, प्रभुपाद जी ने मुझे बचा लिया। मैं उनके वॉच चुराने के लिए आया था लेकिन मेरे को उन्होंने ही चुरा लिया। तो उनका जो भी गुण था वो छिपाते नहीं थे, एक अच्छाई थी उनकी। किसी के सामने बोलते थे मैं बहुत पापी हूँ, बहुत पाप किया, उसके बाद प्रभुपाद जी शरण में आए। तो प्रभुपाद जी ऐसे मैग्नेट हैं कि जो उनके पास जिस भाव में भी गया, चाहे चोरी करने के भाव में गया, चाहे जैसे भी गया, या कोई मजाक से ज्वाइन करना चाहता था, या कुछ प्रसाद खाने की इच्छा से जाता, लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी का मैग्नेट काम करता था और उसको खींच लेता था। तो हरिदास प्रभु को खींच लिया और हरिदास प्रभु फिर वो घड़ी चुराने की इच्छा को छोड़ करके प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्य बन गए। इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से कि जितने भी प्रभुपाद जी के पास आए, कोई बच के गया नहीं, प्रभुपाद के शरण में ही रह गए। तो प्रभुपाद चाहे देश विदेश चाहे जहाँ गए, लेकिन उनका मैग्नेट काम करता था और लोगों को प्रसाद खिला के या जैसे भी अपने शरण में रखते थे और उनका उद्धार किया। ऐसे ही हरिदास प्रभु का उद्धार किया। आज हरिदास प्रभु के बारे में कुछ बोलने का शुभ अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है, इसलिए मैं बहुत सौभाग्यशाली समझता हूँ। और महाप्रभु लोग का दर्शन भी हुआ। राधानाथ स्वामी महाराज का सेवा करने का मौका मुझे मिला था। इनकी यात्रा में प्रसाद वसाद बनाने के लिए 8-10 साल मुझे ले गए थे। मैं जहाँ तक हो सका है इनकी सेवा में रहा। आज इनका साक्षात दर्शन करके मैं बहुत कृतार्थ मानता हूँ अपने आप को। तो प्रभुपाद शिष्यों को जितने भी भक्त हैं बहुत रिस्पेक्ट और सम्मान के साथ देखना चाहिए, क्योंकि कोई ऑर्डिनरी व्यक्ति नहीं है। ये प्रभुपाद जी से जो शुरू शुरू में मिले हैं, ये सब देव समझना चाहिए, देवता है। हम भीमा प्रभु के टच में किसी एटीट्यूड से हूँ, लेकिन मेरी ज़रूरत है तो उतना ही बात करता हूँ, इतना रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ कि ज़रूरत नहीं है तो बात नहीं करता हूँ। और ज़्यादा नज़दीक जाने की कोशिश नहीं करता हूँ कि ज़्यादा नज़दीक जाने से हमें किसी के दोस्त के बारे में सोचने की हो जाता है। इसलिए हमें गुरुजनों के साथ दूरी बना के रहना चाहिए और दोष नहीं देखना चाहिए, उनके गुण को लेना चाहिए। तो हम बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं जो प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्य लोगों का दर्शन करने को मिलता है। और सब लोग को सोचना चाहिए कि जब तक ये मूर्तियां हैं तब तक प्रभुपाद जी के शान है, और हम लोग को प्रोत्साहन मिलता है भक्ति मार्ग में आगे बढ़ने के लिए। हरे कृष्ण। हरिदास प्रभु की, श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Chaturbush Prabhu. I request Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu to come and speak.
Hare Krishna. So it was a very blessing for personally myself, because we used to have quite good interactions with Prabhuji, because we were doing drama on every occasions, on festivals. So many times we used to use his office and his recording rooms and like that. And then we used to go and talk to him. So many times, whenever I have gone, I have seen him very emotionally speaking about Prabhupada. And I could hear his own dealings with Prabhupada and how Prabhupada helped him. So one thing I could see is that last time also when we had this festival of temple opening last Makar Sankranti, so we had arranged, we thought that let us glorify Prabhuji for his long-standing dedicated service to Prabhupada. So we had drama on his own life. And then he was very happy to see it personally. And His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and many other seniors were there. So he also spoke after that, after the program. So we were very fortunate to do some service to him. And one thing which it stuck to me was that he was so thoroughly honest in terms of his dealings. So he personally told me this one instance, and he's told many instances like that personally to me whenever I used to go to meet him. So one thing he was telling that he was here in temple, and every week he used to go to one person who will give some donation, and then with that donation, sabji purchasing used to be there. So he was telling that one day he was little late, and he knew that now that few rupees, 60 rupees, he will not get it. And then it will be difficult for devotees to get per sabji. So when he was coming back, he thought that let me use my previous skills of pickpocketing. And he was seeing the target, and he saw one ticket collector. So he very skillfully he got the Lakshmi. And when he came to the temple, he saw that it was 250 rupees. But then we can see that how thoroughly honest he was. He didn't feel nice that because now I'm a devotee and then I'm supposed to uphold principles given by Prabhupada. So that couldn't, he couldn't accept that. So he was telling, he told me that he personally went with that valet back to that TT. He was there in Bandra. And then he went to his home. It takes so much guts. And then he told that, I'm very sorry, I pickpocketed it, but I wanted 60 rupees. And if you can give me 60 rupees, that will be very nice. So that TT was so moved by, in his life, first time he must have seen such personality who coming like that. So he gave all 250 rupees and he said that, where do you stay? He said, I stay in Hare Krishna land. He said, I also want to come there. Can you take me? And then Prabhuji was telling that since then he started regularly coming with his friends, and this TTs and many TTs became devotees. So we can see that he was so thoroughly honest that he could make anybody devotee being. So he was so dedicated to Prabhupada, dedicated to the mission. So on this occasion, I pray to him that we also get that straightforwardness, the dedication which he had in his life for Prabhupada's service. His Grace Haridas Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you, Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu. We have 3 members here who served with Haridas Prabhu in ITV. We have Dudamrat Prabhu with the camera. We have Krishna Prabhu with the camera. And we have Mrinal Mataji, who also was part of some shooting. So I request them to speak one by one. After that, I do not have any name on my list. If I am missing somebody, please just indicate to me so that I can glorify Haridas Prabhu. Otherwise, with that, we will end the glorification program. We'll have Pushpanjali and then Prasadam. So, Dudamrit Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. एक्चुअली मेरा उतना कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, इतने बड़े बड़े सीनियर भक्त लोग बैठे हुए उनके सामने, फिर भी मैं भगवान से प्रे करता हूँ कि मुझे थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस दे बोलने के लिए. हरे कृष्णा. जब मैं बीआई में सेवा कर रहा था 2009 में, तो प्रभु जी उधर से आते थे और आईटीवी ऑफिस है 2nd फ्लोर पे, तो उधर जाते थे और जो भी उनका सेवा था वो करते थे. तो मुझे उस समय पता नहीं था उनके बारे में कि प्रभु जी है कौन. तो जब मुझे सोचा इस्कॉन जुहू में फोटोग्राफर का सेवा मिला, तब एक प्रभु जी थे, उनसे उन्होंने पूछा कि अभी मंदिर का सेवा कौन करे फोटोग्राफी का, तो उन्होंने बताया कि ये हैं। तो उन्होंने मुझे बुलाए और बोले कि फोटोग्राफी आप करते हो क्या राधा रास बिहारी का? तो मैंने बोला हाँ प्रभु जी मैं ही करता हूँ। तो उनको मेरा फोटोग्राफी इतना अच्छा लगा कि जो भी सोशल मीडिया पे फोटोग्राफी शेयर करते थे उनके नीचे मेरा नाम लिखते थे। तो उस दिन से मेरा उनके साथ में जान पहचान बढ़ा। और हरिदास प्रभु जी का बहुत कृपा है मेरे ऊपर। पहले हरिदास प्रभु जी की कृपा से ही एक्चुअली मुझे फर्स्ट टाइम फ्लाइट में बैठने का मौका मिला था। एक्चुअली हुआ ये था कि मैं 2020 में घर पे जा रहा था और मेरे पास ज़्यादा पर्याप्त पैसे नहीं था, तो इसके लिए उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया अपने ऑफिस में और बोला कि आपके घर के आजू बाजू के एयरपोर्ट है क्या? मैंने बोला हाँ प्रभु जी है। बोला क्या करना है? बोला आपको मैं इस बार फ्लाइट से भेज रहा हूँ। मैंने बोला नहीं प्रभु जी मैं अभी ट्रेन का टिकट कटा लिया हूँ। बोला अरे कोई बात नहीं रहने दो, मैं आपको फ्लाइट का टिकट दे रहा हूँ, फ्लाइट से उड़ के जाओ। बोला ठीक है प्रभु जी आपकी कृपा है तो दे दीजिए। तो इस प्रकार से उनकी कृपा बहुत हुआ मेरे ऊपर। और जब भी मैं उनके ऑफिस में जाता था तो कभी भी मुझे खाली हाथ मुझे नहीं भेजते थे। इनको पता हो कृष्णा प्रभु जी को। और एक और लड़का था उनको बोलते थे कि इनको कुछ फ्रूट खिलाओ, ये खिलाओ वो खिलाओ। जब भी आता था तो फ्रिज में से निकाल करके एप्पल ये केला जो भी रहता निकाल के देते थे, बोले इसको खिलाओ जो जो भी है वो भी। ऐसा और भी बहुत सारे उनके साथ में मेरा हुआ। तो उतना समय नहीं इसके लिए मैं नहीं बोल पा रहा हूँ। मैं हरिदास प्रभु जी से कृपा करता हूँ कि वो अपनी कृपा दृष्टि मुझ पर बना के रखे हमेशा हमेशा के लिए। हरे कृष्ण।
धन्यवाद दुतामय प्रभु। कृष्णा प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा। मैं बचपन से टेंपल में आता हूँ, तो प्रभु जी मुझे देखते थे, तो गुरु अर्थ में प्रभु जी मुझे नचाते थे ऐसे हाथ पकड़ के। तो तभी से मैं उनके साथ था। तो बाद में जब मेरा पढ़ाई कंप्लीट हुआ तो उसके बाद में मैं बोला प्रभु जी मुझे कैमरा वगैरह सीखना है। तो प्रभु जी ने बोला क्या करते हो? तो मैंने बोला कॉलेज कंप्लीट हो गया है। तो बोले ठीक है कल से आ जाओ। और उसके बाद प्रभु जी की वजह से मुझे बड़े बड़े महाराज प्रभुपाद डिसाइपल का एकदम क्लोज सेवा मिला। लाइक में स्टूडियो में जब शूटिंग करता था तो प्रभु जी बोलते थे जाओ महाराज का वो माला ठीक करो, मेकअप, मतलब सब ऐसा प्रभु जी की कृपा थी। इसके लिए मुझे सब बड़े बड़े भक्तों का संग मिला। बस धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
धन्यवाद प्रभु। मृणाल माता जी प्लीज कम।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय बोधराय श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी की नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि भक्तवृंदा। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपीश गोपी कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश विश्वनुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। हरि प्रिय। हरे कृष्णा टू ऑल द डिवोटीज। I really feel blessed to have association with Haridas Prabhu. I remember my initial years of ISKCON. I didn't know anyone here, and somehow Haridas Prabhu, I don't know how come, he came up to me and he said like, are you going to do this program for me? He was doing some live shows for Tata Sky. I said, I'm a model. I never did live shows and all, like, and speaking about philosophy, something was not my thing. He said like, no, come, like, he gave me brief and all. I said, okay, fine. So I'm really grateful to Haridas Prabhu for giving me my first live show on Tata Sky, and that too speaking on Janmashtami. Actually, he asked me to interview some actors and all because I hail from Bollywood. I'm from film, television. He knew my background very well, and we used to discuss a lot films and Prabhupada. He used to talk so much about Prabhupada. I just loved to listen to him. And I used to spend so much time with him. His association is invaluable to me. He always used to speak about himself, and especially stealing and all. I think he was very frank about himself, and he used to encourage every devotee. And I remember, like, because I was a new and hailing from Bollywood, so he was a like very good association, because he used to understand a person very well, make a person comfortable. He used to give me prasad. He used to call me often. I used to visit his office very, very often, like I remember, and used to discuss Prabhupada, because Prabhupada is those days, like, was my favorite. I didn't know much about anything, about the devotees, about the association. But then, yes, definitely gradually. So I'm really, really grateful to Haridas Prabhu for giving me his association, and for having so much of confidence, like, that I can do some seva for him, for Prabhupada, for SriRadhaRasbihari, for the devotees. So thank you so much, Haridas Prabhu. My heartfelt gratitude to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. His Grace Brajai Prabhu was here, but because he has heavy cough, and he said, I can't speak much. Otherwise, he has enough content for more than half an hour, he said. So he has stepped out. His Grace Mukund Madhav Prabhu also was here, and he had to step out because of some appointment in the hospital. His Grace Ramur Prabhu was here. He has stepped out for some service. So that's the end of the speakers. We'll have Pushpanjali now and Kirtan. After that, there's Prasadam for all the devotees in Mandapam Hall. And there's an additional arrangement for senior devotees. Sundar Jatara Prabhu will take care. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We thank all the devotees who helped us to organize this program. Hare Krishna. Kirtan, Pushpanjali flowers.
Iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,